You live in Illinois. Your property taxes are the second highest in the nation. In fact, all the other state and local taxes you pay add up to one of the highest financial burdens in the US. So how come you and your children and your grandchildren will still inherit $219 billion in debt from the state, roughly $45,000 for every household? The answer is Illinois' pension crisis, which is the worst in the nation. It's the main reason Illinois has the worst credit rating out of all 50 states. And it's the reason we pay higher taxes but get worse and worse services every year. But what is the pension crisis really about? And how did politicians let it get this bad? The first question we have to answer is simple. What is a pension? A pension is a form of retirement income, similar to a 401k. The big difference is that public pension payouts are set in state law, and they're based on an employee's salary and years of service, not how much the employee and the employer contribute each paycheck. There are 5 major public pension systems run by the state of Illinois: for public school employees, higher education employees, state workers, judges, and politicians. In addition to the state systems, there are more than 650 local pension systems, which are mostly funded by property taxes. Altogether, pension systems in Illinois serve more than 600,000 current workers, on top of nearly 520,000 retirees and other beneficiaries. For every paycheck, government workers put a set percentage into their pension fund. The employer, that means Illinois taxpayers, also pay in. The pension fund then invests that money in the market, same as a 401k. While employees pay in that set percentage, taxpayer contributions have to rise as high as is necessary to make up for any funding gaps. And those funding gaps have been huge. Taxpayers have funded 75% of Illinois pensions over the last 20 years, and the math isn't working. The state's pension systems have $144 billion in debt. That debt represents how much more politicians have promised than what the state has set aside to pay for it. The state currently has less than 40 cents saved for every dollar in future promises we've made. The local pension systems for police officers, firefighters, and city workers have another $75 billion in debt. So in total, that's a $219 billion debt problem, about 5 times larger than the entire state budget. And that's despite Illinois already spending more money on pensions than any other state. So how did the state let things get so bad? Here's how. Many government workers, including school superintendents, DMV workers, and state politicians, can retire in their 50s. Some end up receiving a pension longer than they actually worked for the government. Compare that to Social Security, where the earliest anyone can qualify is age 62, and the full retirement age for anyone born after 1960 is age 67. More than 1 in 10 Illinoisans are members of an Illinois public pension system. And each year, Illinois pensioners get an automatic 3% raise, even when the economy is tanking. Because of this, the typical Illinois pensioner stands to receive an average of between $1.7 million to $3.6 million in retirement benefits, depending on the system they're in. That's while only paying for about 5% of the cost of their own pension while working. This crisis is not the pensioner's fault. Government workers themselves are not to blame. If nothing changes, they will end up victims of the crisis just like everyone else, because if the pension funds go bust, their retirements go up in smoke. Taxpayers are victims of the pension crisis too. Illinoisans have been hit with 2 major income tax hikes just over the past decade to cover budget shortfalls caused by pensions. And property taxes go up every year to pay for pensions, rather than schools, parks, or public safety. The only way to fix this problem is to get out of control benefits under control. It's time lawmakers give Illinoisans a chance to vote on pension reform.